Hi guys, yours truly, Jimmy Williams, back again for one final video. And I want you to hold on to your seats today. This video is probably my most controversial. However, it's going to be hopefully an uplifting and encouraging video for all of you who watch it. I think it's something that needs to be talked about. You guys know I really don't talk much about politics or race or certain things while I'm doing business. However, I'm a very conscious man. I'm very conscious. I know what's going on around me. I know the do's and don'ts of politics. I know what integrity is. I know what it's not. I know when there's, dishonesty. I can discern that, and you can discern that too, because I'm sure we all have basic discernment. But I know when things are not right. I can tell when things are, done the right way, and and I can tell you one thing about everything that I've learned over these 44 years is that if you do things your best and you refuse to quit, no matter what the circumstance is, nothing can stop you. I don't care your color, creed, religion, background, period. And I'm going to tell you something today. I'm going to show you something today that's going to just shut up the naysayers and all the undercover people who are full of hate, sexist, racist, you name it. Okay, there's not just those two categories, but there's so many other people that have this hate in their heart for them that are successful or for them that don't look like them or don't act like them. Well, in real estate in general, because real estate has been deeply rooted with a lot of racism in it and sexism, there's been a lot of that stuff going on. But now we're in a day now, people are starting to wake up, and now we're starting to realize that, you know what? Nothing is going to stop us. Nothing's going to stop us. But you have to be strategic. You can't quit. You have to be aware. You have to educate yourself. You need to know what you're up against to be able to have a strategy to defend, or not just defend, but to overcome it and dominate. Not just overcome and defend, but to really dominate it. All right. So this video is mainly for people who are out there. You feel like, I keep failing because of my situation, because I'm black, or because I'm a female, or because, I'm slow, or whatever. You don't have enough education. You feel like you were born in the wrong side of the tracks and all of those things. All right. Or you have a sickness, or you have a disease, or you have something, you feel you're incompetent. You just don't have the formal education and all of those things. You feel like those things are going to stop you. After I show you what I'm going to show you today, there's no excuses for you. None whatsoever. Okay. Do I believe that racism and there's certain things and there's certain systems that keep other groups of people in bondage? Sure it is. Sure it is. But there are a few, even with the racism or whatever you see that's out there, that you feel that's holding you back. There are ways to fight and get through it. There's ways to fight and get through it. I can't say that everybody will, but you're looking at a man who did it. I saw my grandfather do it, and I saw his grandfather do it. All right. Now, whatever the situation is, I'm telling you today, you can beat it. You can beat it. It's not going to stop you. If you're a female, you feel like you can't have, you can't get paid as much as a man in the secular world as a vice president or whatever. That's a lie. You can do it, and you will do it. Okay. I want to get right into this. I have a lot to share. I'm very passionate about this, as you can see, because I've seen it. I've seen small things slow people down and even make them quit. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to quit. All right. So the title of this is called "Opinions of Others Can't Stop You." Let me say that again. The opinions of others and even some of the actions of others can't stop you. The mindset of others, the things that they do to try to keep you down, cannot stop you. And I have a few good situations here. Some of my heroes that I have up here, just a few of them, and I'm going to go over them right now. There's a few I don't have up here, but these are some of the top ones that I wrote here. But racism, poverty, sexism, sickness, abandonment, politics. These are some of the main things, the questions I get all the time. Jimmy, these are the things that are holding me back. You know what I say to them? No excuses now. Persist, persist, attack, be embodied with the spirit of tenacity, and make up your mind you're going to win. Let's get into this, okay? One of my number one heroes, you guys need to go do some due diligence, read up. I can't tell you too much about him because I'm trying to make the video within 15, 20 minutes. But this guy was awesome. I mean, his resume is really, really, really big. And, most of you know his name, some of you don't. His name is Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington. He was born a slave. So we're talking 1800s, right? He was born a slave. And this man ended up starting Tuskegee University in Alabama, all right? He was one of the first men that had the mindset, the mentality that anyone, even an ex-slave, could become a millionaire. What do you think he did? He started teaching and mentoring people that were just released from slavery, had no formal education because, you weren't allowed to read as a slave. He took these people, and he was a strong Bible-believing man, so he was a man of faith, so he understood the principles of the Bible that, anyone can learn if they learn to read, if they understand and get, if they develop a craft and perfect the craft, nothing can stop that person from becoming self-reliant or being independent. Once you learn self-reliance, you don't have to ask anyone for anything. So he began to, he built a small church, and he started his own little school. It was really, really small at the time. And he would sit there, and his first building was so bad, it had a hole in the roof. Guys, you got to do your due diligence and look this stuff up. Had a hole in the roof, and he'd be sitting there preaching and praying, teaching the principles of the laws of the Bible of sowing and reaping. Sowing and reaping is very real, okay? I don't know, some of you guys call it karma. He taught sowing and reaping. Whatever you sow in the ground is what you're going to get. So if you sow the wrong mindset, you're going to get bad results from your mind. If you want to learn how to be a millionaire, there's certain principles that need to be applied, and he would teach it right from the Bible. Sowing and reaping. Sowing and reaping. It was so bad one time, it was raining. The ceiling was so bad, it had a hole in the ceiling, and he had his umbrella, and he's sitting there teaching. He began to teach the people and change their mindset. Changing their mindset. This is Booker T. Washington. Great man, all right? And he taught that black people, just because you were a slave doesn't mean you have to end that way. And guess what this man did? This is documented. You need to go really do your due diligence on this. He ended up creating more millionaires than Harvard, Yale, Princeton combined. Again, this is documented. You're not going to find it on Wikipedia. It may not be on there, but you got to go deeper. Do some more studying and research on who this man was and what he did. And all these people that became millionaires were black. Now, here's what he did. He taught them all, listen, find your gift, your craft. And I always tell you guys the same thing. All of you are not going to be millionaires in real estate, but you could be successful and live abundant with something. You have to dig deep and find your passion and find out what that is. And that's what he taught them. So when he created Tuskegee Institute, it's called University of Tuskegee, he taught them, find your biggest craft and just hone that craft, perfect that craft. If you are a farmer, you need to understand the best crops and when to take those crops and plant them and how to reproduce them and how much sunlight they need and how much water they need and how to harvest them. If you're a scientist, then you need to study science. And he taught them how to study. He taught these people who had no education whatsoever. He taught that education was key. Now, another good friend of his was W.E.B. Du Bois. They had a big difference because W.E.B. Du Bois wanted to do everything. He was a great educator as well, but he just wanted to stay with all of the black community alone and teach them. Booker T. Washington's philosophy was, I'll do business with all people, white, black, no matter, as long as we can work together. So they had two different philosophies, but they both wanted the same thing. They wanted their people to come up out of poverty. And this man did it. He did it. Born a slave, came out of that, okay, became very educated, very smart. He's an educator. He's a great orator, great speaker. And he gave back. He gave. And he worked, and he had a ton of mentors. Some of his mentors were white men because he was open to learning as much as he could learn. But my point is, he overcame slavery. He overcame the mind. He conquered his own mind is what he did. Then he taught the other people, you can do the same thing with your mind. It's all in your mind. And when you start talking about creating more millionaires in Harvard, Yale, and Princeton combined, you're doing something special. Because to this very day, those institutes are creating a lot of millionaires. A lot of those people are going to be executives and business owners, okay? But Booker T, he's my hero. He's one of my greatest heroes. So if he did that right after slavery, what's our excuse? Black or white, no matter who you are. Somebody tells you you can't do something, you go look up this man's story and you rethink that over again. Number 2, love this guy, Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong. That's all I got to say, guys, because he's been in our era, okay? He's only 48 years old. I'm 44. He's 4 years younger than me, older than me, pardon me. And he overcame testicular cancer. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. So, yeah, I think that's what it is. He overcame a very aggressive form of cancer. He was diagnosed at 25 years old, and he was told, I'm talking stage 3, that Lance, you should sit down and don't, stop trying to be this cyclist, because he was, he was very good at being a cyclist. But he said, no, I'm not going to quit. Cancer's not going to stop me. Where I said here, sickness can't stop you. Lance knew something about his mind. He knew that his mind could help him overcome it. And that man is still alive today. He's 48 years old. But he overcame the cancer at 25. Listen to this. He won the Tour de France in 1999, 2000, 2001, and 2002. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what that is, but that's long distance cycling, okay? I'm talking miles and miles and miles. It's just really, really hard to win those after overcoming cancer. This man, I mean, so if he contracted the cancer at 25 years old, and then he won in 1999 and 2000, he was around 27 or 28. So what'd he do? Whatever the doctor said, he said, no way, I'm not quitting here. I'm onto something here. He won, and that's not the only thing he done, but I'm going to put his accolades there so you guys can see what this guy did. And he went on to raise over $325 million, him along with Muhammad Ali, this certain foundation, they came together, and they raised tons of money for people, okay? This whole cancer thing, this whole thing about, you can't do this, you can't do that. He did support people who had cancer, though. He did that. He gave back, and he refused to quit. All right? So when people tell me you can't do something, look at this guy. He takes away every excuse for quitting. Everyone. Stage 3 is almost as bad as stage 4. It's almost like saying, you know what? It's time to go to hospice. It's over. But when you have your mind right, you decide you're going to win, your body has to come in line. That's what happened here. Number 3, Madam C.J. Walker. Okay? So you notice what I said, sexism, racism, poverty, sickness, okay? So we've dealt with racism because, you know Booker T went through a lot of racism. Sickness, Lance Armstrong. He's a white man, but he got sick. He got sick, guys. So just because he was white doesn't mean he was going to win, right? He still has something to overcome. And he did it. He proved the naysayers wrong. Madam C.J. Walker was a woman in the 1800s and a black woman. So that's 2 in 1 right there, right? First African-American person to become a multimillionaire. Overcame all the odds. She has cosmetic products, hair products for black women, and she became a multimillionaire. And you got excuses? They're going to be doing a special. I think Octavia Spencer is going to be doing the acting role for Madam C.J. Walker. It's called Self-Made. I think it's going to be on Netflix really soon. You guys should check it out. But this is one hell of a story right here. I mean, you got men against you, then you have white men, black men, because you're a woman, right? Then you have the racism. Then you have, I can't do this. You can't. She said, no, the heck with that. I'm an inventor. I'm going to get it out there, and I'm going to be a millionaire. And she did it. What's your excuse? What's my excuse? None. We're not talking in the 1970s and 80s. We're talking in the 1800s, guys. The only current guy was Armstrong. Booker T. Washington was 1800s. Madam C.J. Walker, 1800s. Now I'm going to blow your mind. Can I get deep on you? And I'm closing. Most of you do not know about Black Wall Street. Now I'm going to deal with race, right? It's going to make some people uncomfortable, but I got to talk about this. Black Wall Street, most of the people, and there's a lot of my white friends, I talked about Black Wall Street, they haven't heard of it. You know why? Because the racist system that we're living in right now doesn't want you to know it existed. They don't talk about it. But go Google it, put it on YouTube, pull it up. I'm going to give you some education that they would never teach you in high school. There was a time after slavery where there were black communities, not just Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, an area called Greenwood. But there was a time, there were several communities that were black, all black people, because they wouldn't allow them to work with the white people because the segregation and certain laws in Jim Crow, where black people were self-reliant completely, did everything themselves, had their own banks, their own laws, their own schools, their own transportation, their own grocery stores, own educational system, completely separate from any other group. They don't want to tell you this in the news. And guys, I'm here to tell you, if you come to Atlanta, a certain part where I live now, we still have some communities like that today. That's why I love Atlanta so much. Okay? It's not about the person's skin color as much as it is about the country making it about that to keep certain groups in a system where they can't come up. So all these black people, even today, most of us just want our own independence, right? To be able to create our own wealth without the oppression. That's what these people wanted. They decided, you know what? We're going to have our own communities. Go look this up, guys. They had their own banks, like I said before. They had their own airlines. They had their own schools and colleges, their own post office, restaurants, over 600 thriving businesses where they didn't have no white person in sight, running very smoothly and successfully. And they had swagger. They dressed nice. Almost like if you go to Harlem before the gentrification, back in the 30s and 40s, it was the Harlem Renaissance back in that time. Total prosperity, total independence. And then because of racism and jealousy and hate, if you go read the story, something happened where there was a lie that came out where there was a white woman that was there, and she said that something happened with her between her and a black man harassed her or something. And it was all a lie. She went back out to another community, and the people of the government, the cops and all these other people in government, many said it was the Ku Klux Klan who did it. They were dressed like police officers and everything, those people. They were looking for an excuse to come in and destroy Black Wall Street from that one lie that woman told. And they wanted to come down they arrested the black man, and the black men in that city stood up and said, you know what, this is our town. We're independent of everybody. We're not going to let you have this, man. And the white authorities came and destroyed the city, came in. And for the first time in U.S. history, you probably never knew this, bombs were dropped in the U.S. They were dropped on Black Wall Street. They said it killed 300 people, but if you dig deeper and look at the facts, it killed about 3,000 people. Innocent, just because they were jealous that these black people had found a way to be independent. Didn't need anybody. And it's like that today, not just with black people, but it's just, there's sometimes, even with women, there's certain times, women, you're doing your own thing, and there's some other people just don't like it. And they will do everything they can to bring you down. But in this particular case, I'm talking about African-American people in this country with their independence. And they bombed the city, destroyed it, and it has never recuperated since. The good news is the movement of Black Wall Street or black entrepreneurs and self-independence is not just in a city anymore. It's online. It's everywhere now. Because the jig is up. Everybody knows that, if you put your mind to it, nothing can stop you. They killed most of the people in that city, and the people could not recover out of pure jealousy. But my point is, they did it. They had their own community, and they were prosperous people. Prosperity, guys, will bring lots of jealousy and hate. People hate you sometimes, they don't even know why. Deep down inside, they know why, but they don't want to talk about it. The reason why is they have jealousy and envy in their heart. Instead of just being happy with themselves, they don't want to see you make it, so they got to do something to bring you down. So I'm telling you in closing, out of all of this, this has nothing to do with me hating anyone or you hating me back. This is not about that. This is to educate you on the things that will come up against someone that may not look like you, that are different, and they decide to prosper, and the other person or the other group of people on the other end decide that they don't like it, and they're going to do something about it. But I'm here to tell you, no one can stop you. There were so many lawsuits, there's so many things that came against Lance Armstrong, so many investigations, couldn't stop him. So many things happened to Madam C.J. Walker, you can only imagine, couldn't stop her. Black Wall Street was destroyed, but Black Wall Street's everywhere now. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. We have more black millionaires here than anywhere else in the world. Most people don't know that. Booker T. Washington, he was an educator, Tuskegee is still in existence today. It's still there in Alabama. I've been to Alabama. It's there still. The millionaires that he created and those people went on to create generational wealth. When you build something of value, it never dies. It just transfers to the next generation. I hope you guys got something out of this. So, the pains of other people are minute compared to when you transfer in your mind and you have your own vision. They're dropping the bucket to the right mindset. I hope you guys got this. This really moved me today to share this with you because I think it was something that needed to be told. Some untold truths can help you get up and be inspired to move forward with your vision. No one can ever stop you but you. But you got to believe that. I hope you got this. I wish you all the best. Read the book, Think and Grow Rich. I keep telling you guys to read that. Read it over and over and over again. It talks about 30 reasons most millionaires, most successful people who strive to be successful, most of the reasons of why they fail are in that book. It's going to give you some deep revelation on the things that you need to modify in your life to get the results you want. Let's make it happen. Stay busy. Stay active. Keep your mind on positive things. Get away from negative people, even negative family members. Let them go. Love them from a distance. You're trying to create something special here for you, your children, your children's children. You're trying to do something like this. No one can stop you but you. Okay? I love all of you. You're very special to me. I would have never created this video if I didn't feel it could bring value to you. That's why I did it. As always, I'll see you at the top. Way up top where the eagles soar. Have a good day. Bye-bye.